The most important or precious skill that an entrepreneur or a business people should have. This skill is a must have regardless of the level of journey you are taking. It does not matter which level you are, but you must have this skill. Welcome to the 360 degrees business health check. Today we are talking about a skill that every entrepreneur must have. It doesn't matter which background you're coming from, which kind of business you're doing, which field you are in, but you must have this skill for you to do well in your journey as a business person, as an entrepreneur. You might be watching me and you've just started out. You might be watching me, you've been around for some time. You might be watching me, you have done business but you have not shown interest in this skill. But welcome on board. I want to take you through this skill that every business person, every entrepreneur should have. If you don't have it, you must learn. You must go out of your way and begin to learn it. This is the selling skill, the skill for selling. This is the skill for selling. There are so many things you can learn in your business. You can learn bookkeeping. You can learn accounting. You can learn so many things, the operations of the business. You can do a lot of things. You can specialize in marketing. You can specialize in PR. I bet you don't neglect the selling skill. It's a treasure as far as business is concerned. If you possess this skill, I want to tell you that you're going to do well in your business, regardless of the industry you're operating in. You might be watching me and yet you have never come across the concept of selling. You have heard about it, but you don't know it has a structure. You might come across the name, maybe the social media, maybe in school, but you have never given attention to it. So today I want to break down this precious skill of selling, to break it down into 7 points, 7 items, so that you begin to learn it, you begin to run with it, and you begin to stay afloat in whichever industry you are in. One of the most important part about selling is that it will help you to understand your customer. It will help you to understand your competitors. It will help you to understand the trends, because out there you'll meet clients who will tell you and give you feedback concerning what you're doing. You'll be selling to one person and they'll tell you, but I'm getting this item at $1,000 cheaper or $100 cheaper. You'll get to know your competitors if you went out to start selling. It will be like indirect research, where you bump into a lot of information. And me and you know very well that information is very key to any business. So sales has a lot to offer. Apart from research and the information about competition, about the product, about pricing, about the new trends in the market, you'll get to bring in money. Because if you translate a sell or a prospect into closing it, it brings additional income, it brings new clients come on board. So at the end of the day, your revenues will keep increasing. Why? Because each time you talk to a client and you win them over, that sale translates into income to your business. So quickly, you want to go through the 7 processes, the 7 selling process I want to take you through. So before you do anything else, the number one item is prospecting. Prospecting is identifying the people, the would-be client, identifying the would-be clientele. You can identify your client according to how you have structured your products. Every product that everybody sells has a target market, has features. Your product should have a feature, and your product should be designed to appeal to a particular people. And your product is supposed to appeal to a particular people in a particular season. So prospecting is being able to identify a client who will buy from you. It can be geographical, it can be from sector to sector, it can be according to the level of income, it can be according to the industry your client is coming from. So the ability to identify that this person can be a good client is called prospecting. It is the first thing you do before you sell anything. It will give you target, it will give you direction, it will give you an energy to do your activity in focus. So after identifying your client, identifying the region, the next thing you need to do is to prepare. Number two is preparation. Preparation means that you need to get enough information about your product. You need to know where you can find your client. You need to anticipate the need your clients have. Your clients have needs, and that's why you want to sell to them. So you need to understand that this client has a need already. And from your little research, you can tell when they need your product. So preparation means writing down what you need to tell your client, identifying their need, and also doing a research exactly on their business activities. Look at their industry. Is it at the peak of what they do, or is it off peak? So you need to have this information in a diary or a journal before you go to the next step. Step number 3, approach your client. Business is done between two people. Business is done when two people meet. So don't avoid meeting people. Plan a way of approaching your clientele. Walk into them. Hang out where they hang out. Most people prefer going to golf events. You can learn playing golf, because that's where, if your client loves playing golf, please, you need to learn how to play golf. You need to find yourself in places your client is interested in. That's why you can do the approach. It can be formal, it can be informal. I've come to find out that most people will prefer doing it informally. You prepare a business card, you go to the golf tournament, you go to that dinner with your business card, you meet them as if it was not planned, and yet in the back of your mind you know very well you planned for it. So make it look casual, but at the end of the day you're planning to close the sale. Or you can make it formal. You can book an appointment by phone call. You can book an appointment by going to the reception. All these things, they are geared towards just approaching your clientele. And maybe you've been granted the appointment. Now you need to do what you call presentation. Presentation, you clearly break down your product or service into bits, the features. You explain to your client why they need your product. You explain to your client that they are missing a lot if they don't buy from you. So presentation is where you tell your client how your product will improve their lives. That is on presentation. You can do a PowerPoint, you can do an audio, you can speak to their ears, you can talk to them over the boardroom. There are so many ways you can do a presentation. You can do an email, you can do a small video, especially in this social media age. Videos speak a lot. Short videos, the demonstrations, they do a lot. And then number 5, of course, in the when you're doing your presentation, your client might raise some objections, questions. They might ask you hard questions. Why should I need your product yet? I'm comfortable where I am. That's where you begin to defend your product against what they have said. Or maybe they're enjoying another competition. They have an alternative product. So you need to fight for your product and tell them that my product is superior to this one because of this and that, because of ABCD. So objection is where you try to bring your client to speed concerning your product as compared to alternatives. After handling objectives, we go to the next one called closing. This is where you close the sale. This is where money changes hands. This is where a check is written. This is where an order is written down. So closing the deal is whereby everything you've done from prospecting, this is the climax of it. You do what? You make sure that you close that deal. You bring the sale home. So this is the most important part because this is where money is credited to your account. But we don't stop there. We don't stop there. And the next bit is follow up. Regardless of whether you have closed up or not, but you need to call your client a week or so, ask them how they're enjoying your product. Call them and ask them how they're enjoying your product. If they promise to, they'll buy at a future date. Call them and remind them of the future date. So if you do these 7 things perfectly, you'll have improved your selling skills. Every business people, entrepreneur, you need to have this skill. You need to master this skill. If at all you won't do anything in your company, don't delegate. Okay, you can have people doing sales with you, but be the leader in sales. I advocate that if you have a company, your company has grown, you have 100 employees, 1,000 employees, don't retire from being a salesperson. Keep selling. You can delegate other responsibilities. You can hand over everything as the company grows. But when it comes to selling, please be a salesman for life.